Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, friends. I can't believe we're already here. It's time for the Strange New World Season 1 finale, Episode 10, A Quality of Mercy, which sounds like a TOS episode. But friends, I digress. This has been a really solid, really fun, really heartbreaking season of Star Trek. Again, like I've said, it wasn't until Episode 6, Lift Us Where Suffering Cannot Reach, before I was really sold on this show. And I think it's been a real gem, a real gem. So I've been very pleased with it, my friends. Before we get started, if you could do me a huge favor and hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel and it allows me to alert you next time we go live. And of course, if there's anything that we do, Strange New Worlds included, that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. But my dear friends, all that's then. This is now, and now it's time to watch the Strange New Worlds Season 1 finale, Episode 10, A Quality of Mercy. Prepare to engage maximum warp reaction. And for the last time this season, away we go!
Previously on Star Trek Strange New Worlds.
I don't like these previously ons. I'm going to straight up say I don't like them because they ruin shit. It's like Battlestar Galactica. If anybody's watched the newer remake Battlestar Galactica, those early bump ruin shit. Like straight up. That's why I'm talking through this.
Maybe that's the good and seeing my future.
Stay the course, save their lives.
Chris is a damn hero, man, because I'm going to tell you this straight up. If I thought that I could save myself from that fate, who wouldn't take that? Right? Unless they told me, like, the kids that you were going to save are going to die if you don't do it. I get that.
The Enterprise is on the edge of the neutral zone, a narrow band of space separating the Romulan Empire from the Federation.
Love the Romulans.
Enterprise and the USS Cayuga are here to help the outposts that guard the neutral zone with much-needed retrofitting and supplies.
My man.
Just add eggs, Parmesan, lightly saute, and it transforms from leftovers
Into breakfast.
Hearing rumors the Romulans are developing new weapons.
The Romulans are the boogeyman. No one's ever seen one, nobody even knows what they look like, and yet they get blamed for a lot of things around here.
Well,
I think I missed the beard.
Yeah, I felt like I belonged to a different era of Captain.
But that's what you were going for, man at a time.
I like the beard too. I thought it was badass.
I'm always curious who the Chris of tomorrow's gonna be. Beard? No beard? Surprise me.
I like their dynamic quite a bit.
We are on our own out here. How do you plan to fix our supply chain problems?
They will also each receive a set of fully automated mining craft that can be operated remotely.
How does this sound?
Sounds like what I've been asking for the last 5 years.
Okay, well, let's take the glare out of your stare.
What did you say your name is?
Mott.
Mott al-Salah.
He has a model of the Enterprise back home.
Oh, wow, it's one of the kids.
I'm sorry, he just gets a little excited.
It's totally fine. I'm just feeling a little under the weather. Number one and Spock can answer any further questions you have.
Oh, wow. That's like coming face to face with it.
That boy. He's one of the names you mentioned.
Yeah.
There's 2 cadets who don't make it. He's one of them.
Oh, wow.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. I have to do something, don't I?
Oh my God, the kid dies. Now that's, what do you do then? How do you change it then? Oh God. Oh, I don't envy you, Chris. Holy shit, dude.
I'm gratified to see your deep interest in Starfleet, and I encourage you to pursue your dream. But there is something you should know about. You'll figure out how to say it. Trust me. Who the hell are you? Thought that would have been obvious. I'm you.
Oh shit. He's wearing the Wrath of Khan version of the uniform. I've seen the movies, just so everybody knows. I've seen all the movies except for one. I haven't seen the motion picture, and I haven't seen one. We're in the credits. Chris is telling us about the Final Frontier. I haven't seen one of the Next Generation movies, the one with F. Murray Abraham. That's all I've got on that one. Okay, so the speculation is this new Pike is wearing a Wrath of Khan era uniform tells me right away that he's from the future, and the Wrath of Khan era is well past the original series as far as I understand. 15, 20 years. I have a feeling I know where this Chris is from. So off to a banger of a start though.
It's just this room brings back a lot of memories.
Is this some kind of
Joe? No. I've been doing this long enough that I'm not just gonna take the word of somebody who shows up in my cabin and says he's future me.
Right.
I'm here because that letter you're about to write is going to wreck the future.
How? Does this kid grow up to be like somebody terrible? Or
2 cadets die in that accident 7 years from now. Maat is one of them. You're trying to figure out how to save the cadets and yourself. But like so much of this time-bending stuff, there are unforeseen consequences.
like what?
Hell, isn't you standing here evidence that I pull it off? Yes. And that's the problem. It alters the future in ways that we never intended to change. You sound like one of those Klingon monks from Boraf. Who do you think sent me?
Oh, wow. Is that time crystal?
A time crystal. It will show you the effects of changing your fate. This is serious. This is end of the world stuff.
Jesus.
And that's how I convinced the Klingons to let me show you instead. Instead.
Show him the future. Oh, wow.
I assume I was talking about weddings. Yeah. Which we get to perform as captains on ships. So.
A wedding, you say?
All decks red alert. Repeat. All decks red alert.
Thank God.
No.
Outpost 4 reports they are under attack by a space vessel. Identity unknown.
Copy.
Oh my God. Is this Balance of Terror? That's what this is, isn't it?
Outpost 4 reported under attack, sir. Then message terminates.
No, because Erica's here. We'd have to have Sulu here.
Did Outpost 4 say anything else about the attacking vessel?
No identification, sir.
I'm guessing it's the same attackers, sir.
That's how Balance started, was with a wedding.
Maintain course. Alert me when we're 2 minutes out. Mr. Spock, could you join me in the radio room, please? 2266.
Is this one of your human jokes?
I'm serious, Spock. This is... well, it's time crystal stuff.
Why is Spock, like, mad at him?
In these circumstances, it is my job to assume command.
I agree. If I was mentally compromised, but I am not. So what's the logical solution?
Perhaps the doctor could do a full scan.
Why don't we try a mind meld? That way you'll know if I'm lying or not.
My thoughts to your thoughts.
Why wouldn't Spock just believe him? Oh, dear God, man.
In this timeline, there were no cadets at the reactor incident to save. No one was even hurt.
I need your help, Spock.
You were never injured in the training accident. Thus, you remained captain of the Enterprise, putting you in charge at a crucial moment.
No Jim.
All we can surmise is that in the prime future, some other captain of the Enterprise must have commanded it differently.
Oh my God.
If you do not change what you would normally do on the ship.
I thought we were trying to avoid a terrible...
I got chills all over. Everybody needs to know that.
So the only way to discover the terrible future is to live it.
Why was Spock seemed like pissed at Chris when we first got there? Like he wouldn't.
Neo, to see if there are any other Federation ships in the vicinity in case we need backup.
The Farragut is closest. A couple hours away. That's La'an's ship, sir.
La'an's on the Farragut?
Commander Hansen Al-Salah. This is Pike. What's your status?
Outposts 2, 3, and 8 are gone. Unknown weapon completely destroyed.
Oh my God.
Seems to have disappeared somehow. Switching to visual. Enterprise, can you see?
Oh my God.
Even through our deflectors, it did this. Can you see?
We see, Hansen.
Oh my God.
Fired something at us. High energy plasma. Enterprise, can you see in the center of my screen?
Phasers.
Still out of range, sir.
We're out of range, Commander. Do you have weapons?
Negative. Phaser's gone.
Get it. Dear God. Get out of there.
We're being hailed. It's one of ours, the Farragut.
Bond ship. Who's hailing us?
Their captain, James Kirk.
Sam's brother?
Music, man.
Enterprise, this is Captain James T. Kirk of the USS Farragut, offering assistance.
Whew.
The ship in question appears to have a kind of cloaking device, but they still have a detectable gravitational presence.
So, can we track it, Commander?
Spock. Theoretically, yes.
They don't know each other.
They are likely flying blind, without enough power to run their scanners.
So we can't see them, but they can't see us.
If we attack the Romulans without authorization, the Federation will consider us expendable.
We do have another option. But if Enterprise and Farragut match course and speed with the enemy ship, exactly, move for move, they might think we're just a reflection, echoes on their sensors.
Uhura, send a message to Starfleet. Ask for permission to engage the Romulans. Captain Kirk, we'll be talking.
I look forward to it. Kirk out.
This is crazy.
He doesn't like to take the path everyone else does. And he doesn't like to lose.
Should we be worried that he's going to start a war?
Jim's not the one that starts it. That's the variable. Pike's in the chair and Jim isn't.
Captain, can you come to the bridge? There is something you should see.
There's a comet ahead.
I think it's a feed from their bridge, sir.
So we're finally going to see what the Romulans look like.
Put it on screen, please, Mr. Spock.
Fascinating. Just the eyebrow. I don't think I've ever seen the Farragut before. Is it like a Reliant class? Or what's the Reliant class called? The,
Well, we're not going to get out of this problem by not talking about it.
Agreed. I'd like to hear what Mr. Spock has to say for himself.
What? Come on.
Perhaps the Romulans allowed us to see that transmission in hopes that it would sow discord among us.
Even if we...
Mbenga is still chief medical, too.
To destroy them? Say we're lucky enough to do that. Isn't that technically an act of war?
Not if they're on this side.
What happens when they return to Romulus and tell their leaders that the Federation won't even fight back? If we allow them to destroy our outposts with no repercussions, we run the risk of war.
I have to believe there's another way forward.
I think we should attack. Vulcan, like Earth, had its aggressive colonizing period. Savage, even by human standards.
But the second they go through that, particle distortion will reveal their location.
And we'll be flanking them on either side.
They'll be penned in and we'll be able to get weapons lock.
Good plan, Captain.
It's a space cowboy.
I remain concerned this brash young Starfleet captain follows his own rules. I can't help but wonder, is Kirk the reason I was sent here?
No, it's him not being in the chair. It's him not making these decisions.
Let us know when you see them, Enterprise.
We're passing through the tail.
Any second now?
Strangely enough, the jury's out on the guy playing Kirk. I think he's doing a great job, but man, I can't see anybody but Bill Shatner.
Something isn't right.
The captain is correct. We should have seen them by now.
Enterprise, I don't like this.
They see you.
Get out of there! Red alert!
Red alert. Erica, close that distance as fast as you can.
Attack pattern Tiberius 4.
Tiberius. Ooh.
Get behind them.
Come on.
Fire!
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, she was hit bad.
Fire phasers, Captain!
We're out of range. We're just as likely to hit you as them.
Maybe you'll draw their fire.
Mitchell, full phasers now.
It's whatever. Give him something else to shoot at.
Holy, we actually clipped them.
Yeah, good job.
Keep firing.
I love to hate the Romulans. Oh, shit!
They're firing their plasma weapon.
Brace for impact!
No. Don't brace for impact.
That should have destroyed us. How are we still standing?
They were shooting at a distance. Perhaps their plasma weapon is less effective when fired long range.
Status of the Farragut.
It dissipates?
Pike to transporter. Get the pads warmed up, Chief. We're about to test their upper limits.
Yep, get everybody over.
Clear the pads. There's one more group behind us.
Hold on.
Oh my God, to see you.
Oh, when's the last time you talked to Una?
Why, I can't talk to her. No one can. She's not allowed contact.
Ooh.
Captain Pike, we need to talk now.
That has to be the... Kirk would never have left it, so he must be the last one.
You flinched.
Ooh.
But do not question my combat readiness, Captain.
I'm saying caution means you're not going to put everything you have into the punch.
All this because of a second's delay?
Tell me I'm wrong, Captain, and I will back down.
Wow.
I underestimated him. I'm not going to do it again.
Captains Pike and Kirk to the bridge. There is something you'll both want to see.
Jesus, Chris, he's right.
I do not believe they have enough to make it back to Romulus.
Do we know their position?
Yes, on a heading for the neutral zone.
But the Romulans don't know that.
They will if we pull up on their six and can't fire.
Lieutenant Uhura, open a channel to the Romulan ship.
What are you doing?
Taking a risk.
This isn't your wheelhouse, Chris.
I'm offering you a temporary ceasefire so that we can talk. For the first time in 100 years.
Well, they want to destroy us, but they also want to get home. Knowing what your opponent wants is key to a successful negotiation.
That's assuming they can be negotiated with.
Captain Pike, it is good to make your acquaintance.
Oh, boy.
I don't know why your ancestors attacked Earth, or what my ancestors did in retaliation. I only know that we're paying a bill that was written long before you and I were ever born.
Our peoples are indeed different, Captain. In our culture, your words are a show of weakness.
Yep.
Maybe you have enough power to attack us. Maybe you have enough power to get back to Romulus without repairs. Conversely, maybe we can marshal our weapons and destroy you before you make it to the neutral zone.
So what is it that you're suggesting, Captain?
A good faith gesture. 2 hours. Enough time to repair our ships and bury the dead. And maybe this bit of mercy will lead to something further and better between our two cultures.
See, Mark Leonard's commander respected Kirk. They were adversaries of a battle. I'm not sure about this. This might turn him off. I wouldn't have done it this way, look.
Romulans can't be trusted. They shot Farragut right in front of us.
Stand down, Erica.
You can't let them get away with it.
Stand down!
Yeah. Or leave the bridge.
I wonder what they're doing over there.
Hopefully. Same thing we are.
Stu.
We're engaged in a ceasefire, Sub-Commander. We have 2 hours. Put all hands to repair our engines. If we do not, we will not make it back to Romulus.
We should commit all hands to weapons repair. The Federation has given us the advantage. We can strike before this ridiculous ceasefire is completed.
This dynamic here is going to be the change.
We look at the world clearly on my ship. We do not make choices based on ego. Engines first, then weapons. Or are you so arrogant you think you know better than your commander?
Ooh. No, they're not going to go for this.
I do not drink coffee. I do drink tea.
All right, would you like some tea?
No, thank you, Captain.
No, thanks.
What happened to Una?
She was sentenced to the Federation penal colony on Celius 6, where she has spent much of the last 7 years. Captain. Captain.
It's so weird. They don't know each other.
I'd like to explore a backup plan. If you'll give me the resources.
I'm listening.
Look, the Romulans just bought themselves some time. They're on the edge of the neutral zone. They could also use it to call for reinforcements. So...
Ooh, yeah.
Jim, we're on the far edge of Federation space. It takes days to get a message to Starfleet. We're weeks away from help getting to us, even at maximum warp.
But the Romulans don't know that.
So what are you going to do? Fake another ship?
Try it now.
Aye, that's the one. This is where the auto repair was getting hung up. She's pretty fused. I'm an engineer, not a miracle worker, Mr. Spock.
They didn't show us Scotty there, did they?
Bridge to Spock, status.
Working on it, Captain.
Working on it.
Oh, Scotty's there then.
Conventional wisdom suggests that our next move is to resume hostilities. To fight. You yourself told me that in your culture, to do anything else would be a sign of weakness. Our strength comes from our willingness to see a partner instead of an enemy. In our culture, that is an act of faith and strength, not a failure of character.
Do Romulans have that kind of strength?
I, too, tire of endless war.
Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. But future Chris survived somehow.
I alerted them of our situation, Commander. The Federation showed weakness. It is the Romulan way to strike. You were not going to. We should have destroyed them the moment they did.
You don't remember a time without war. But I do.
Oh, boy.
Captain Pike will not trust my word now.
What does that matter? He will be dead soon.
Take him off the bridge.
Wow.
I'm Captain Pike of the Federation Starship Enterprise, and you are?
You may address me as Praetor. It is customary to kneel.
As I'm not a Romulan, you'll forgive me if I don't.
Yeah.
I have you surrounded. Surrender, or we will destroy you. You have 1 minute to comply.
You know, I don't like her.
Perimeter alert. We have ships incoming, sir. Dozens.
More Romulans?
No. They look like ours.
What in the absolute did Jim do?
I've got a secure channel from the lead ship, sir. It's Captain Kirk.
Been 100 years since the Federation has seen the Romulans. We didn't know what their ships look like, and so I figured they don't know what ours look like either.
Robotic mining craft?
Mining, hauling, not one of them manned. But to the Romulans, who's to say we aren't a Federation armada?
You sneaky son of a bitch.
It's enough to bluff with. I hope.
Can't play cards with it.
The conduits are severely damaged.
Work faster, Mr. Spock. We're going to need weapons soon, and we're not going to need them at all. Ready to sell this?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Our armada of Starfleet Delta-class attack ships. But we won't have to use them, will we, Praetor?
This is an act of unparalleled aggression on the border of our territory, Captain.
What the f?
You want to know what actually is an act of unparalleled aggression? A Romulan bird of prey using cloaking technology, destroying our neutral zone outposts.
I know nothing of what you speak.
Yeah. I wonder if this is supposed to be the commander from the Enterprise incident.
Praetor, what is this?
This is a culling, Captain. That commander should not have allowed himself to be caught.
So we see each other once again after all.
What are you doing?
Only what is asked of me.
I never called for that armada.
We can beam you and your crew aboard. You don't have to do this.
You and I are of a kind. In a different reality, I could have called you friend.
What purpose will it serve to die?
We are creatures of duty, you and I.
Oh my
I
God.
have accepted my fate.
Chris has to accept his.
My sacrifice will lead to an end to this conflict between us.
Oh my God. That's what you had to see, dude.
They're powering up weapons.
Ah, this is... Dear God. Is she gonna frame that like they did it? Like that's the act of war?
What do Romulans care of peace? It means nothing to us. And your apparent affinity for it has sealed your fate. Thank you, Captain Pike. If not for your weakness, we would have never known what easy targets your Federation would be.
Oh, God. That's why Jim has to be in the chair.
I'm sorry, sir.
Sir, the drone ships are moving.
Son of a bitch. Kirk, what are you doing?
Covering your escape. Get those engines fixed.
Oh my God, they're gonna lose Jim.
He's putting the drones between us and the Romulans.
Without Jim out there.
Captain Kirk has beamed on board. Engines online.
Oh, they got Jim.
Hit it.
Oh my God. Yeah, they're gonna go full attack mode now, though. They know that they've got us.
The Romulans are broadcasting on all known subspace frequencies. It's a declaration of war, sir. Against the Federation.
Jesus.
Decks 5, 11, 12, and 22 are all reporting hull breaches. Weapon systems took a direct hit.
Spock. Oh, shit. That's what it is. I thought it was Jim. Nah. It's gonna be Spock. The wife dies in this one. Because he died, the husband died in Balance of Terror. Oh no!
Massive cerebral trauma, major blood loss, spinal fractures.
That's the trade, Chris. God, that got me so bad. Holy shit.
I was thinking the same thing when I went through this. That I traded my fate for Spock's. This isn't going to help, but it gets worse.
What?
Millions die. So far, it's still going on.
Oh my God.
The best chance at a lasting peace between the Federation and the Romulans in any timeline.
Spock. Ambassador Spock.
But the monk showed me something simple. Every time we change the path, he dies.
That's the price.
Thank you. Hey, look at it this way. How many people get to give their life for someone twice in one day? Oh, yeah.
What did he remember?
Not really, I'm just, talking to myself. Fancy a drink?
Sure.
I think I was supposed to meet you.
I get that feeling too. I honestly just came by to check on you. Did it ever occur to you that sometimes you can't avoid a fight?
Yeah.
You're a good captain, Jim Kirk.
He's the best.
Enterprise would be lucky to have you.
You thinking of retiring?
They'd be lucky to have each other. Now, I wonder if Chris will remember all this. I mean, I'm assuming he will.
Computer, delete file.
Man, his role was sacrifice. Where is he? I can't read that.
But now your demeanor appears changed.
So observant.
I think the universe is telling me that some fates are inescapable. And even if I could get out of mine, it might just fall to someone else.
Someone you know?
Yes.
Is that why you are very glad to see me?
Oh.
I believe I may owe you a debt of gratitude, Captain. Although for precisely what, I do not know.
Spock, you are
a very good officer.
You are very important to me.
As are you to me, Captain.
Ah. Spock is ready to throw it all away for you, buddy, in the menagerie.
I'm making memories I'd like to remember.
Oh, this is awesome.
Some of their names.
You got 7 years, buddy. Live. Live every second of it.
Captain, incoming message from Starfleet Command. Captain Patel is beaming on board. They want you and Commander Chin Riley to meet her in the transporter room.
Really?
What the hell is going on?
Okay.
She's an Illyrian, Chris.
I don't care what she is. She's
I don't like it either, but I have orders. Captain.
Ooh.
I didn't ask for this job. I really am sorry.
So am I.
Oh, shit.
Because this isn't over.
Holy shit. All right, everybody. We just got done watching the season 1 finale of Star Trek Strange New Worlds entitled Equality of Mercy. And the only thing left to do is talk about it. All right, everybody, we just got done watching the season 1 finale of Star Trek Strange New Worlds entitled Quality of Mercy. Okay, so boy, this one taught me a couple things here, friends. One, it taught me that now that I am, almost, I guess I'm about halfway, as of this recording, I'm about halfway through season 3. So I've watched season 1 and 2 of the original series and half of season 3. I mean, full disclosure, the original series is like life to me. I absolutely love it. It is my favorite Star Trek is the original series. Not that that's any indication of me not liking anything else. It's just the original series is my apex predator of Star Trek that I've seen so far, which is painfully little. So again, take that with a grain of salt. I've really enjoyed season one of Strange New Worlds. In many ways, I almost look at it as like a like DLC for the original series video game. Does that make sense? Like, you know, when you get a video game, you play the main story, it's like, oh man, like you play Witcher, and it's like, oh, this is really good. Then you get like Heart of Stone that you're gonna watch, you know, or the DLC from that. I'm sure there's a more readily available, DLC that makes more sense. But yeah, again, and that's no disrespect whatsoever to Strange New Worlds, because I picked Witcher simply because the DLCs for Witcher were phenomenal, and I think that that's a lot of what it does. It's Strange New Worlds to me kind of like fills in some of the gaps, fleshes out some of the backstory, without really compromising the original that we've seen so far. I've had a couple questions about like the Chapel Spock relationship, but I'm sure they'll answer that for me. You know, I'm not worried about that. I look at it like this. If I've got questions about things that are pertaining to like the relationships between Star Trek Strange New Worlds and the original series, then the creatives of Strange New Worlds have already figured that out. You know, I'm coming into this late to the party, 60 years late to the party. So they obviously have already kind of, they know way more about what they need to make sure isn't some type of like canonical problem or something like that. You know, I'm sure they've got all that taken care of. So I'm not going to go into it. What do I know? I'm nowhere near an expert. And I just, like I said, I'm 2.5 seasons into the original series. So it's not, you know, what do I know? But with this one, I think it was a really cool premise. See, this is interesting because this is what I like about potential alternate versions of things. You know, instead of giving us like a multiverse, you know, oh, this is the little subtle changes that are there. This is actually, this is more narrative. This is where the story diverges if you do this, Chris. This is why we can't change things that are canonical to Star Trek, the original series. There are universal ramifications to doing so that result in a far poorer outcome than what we've seen in the original series. Now, I'm not to say that that's every decision in the original series. I'm sure that there are things that could have been done better. I mean, I can think of like a dozen offhand, but with this, Jim had to be in the chair. And, I mean, full disclosure, Jim is my favorite captain. I absolutely love him. The guy that's playing, and Paul something, I don't know his last name. I saw it flash up. The guy that's playing Kirk in this one, good job. He's doing a good job. For me, it was easier for me to watch Ethan Peck play Spock than it is for me to watch someone play Kirk. And the only reason for that is I think Ethan Peck's doing a very good Leonard Nimoy impression. So, there's just more coming off the Kirk character that's very, in my mind, different from Bill Shatner's performance. So it'll just take me a little bit more time. I love the character of Kirk. I love Bill Shatner, though, too. I mean, unabashedly, I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of both the character and the performer. So, I can accept, and I'm a huge fan of Nimoy and Spock too. I mean, do not get me wrong. Ethan Peck, though, I should say, I saw Discovery season 2, and so I think I had my come to Jesus moment, with him as Spock before I really knew Leonard Nimoy as Spock. I mean, I knew Leonard Nimoy from the movies as Spock, so I didn't really have that much immersion into Leonard Nimoy, kind of day in and day out inside the original series. So it was an easier transition to me. Now, I think that if I had Spock just dropped on me, I'd be having the same type of kind of have to rev up and get used to it before I can accept it. The same way I'm having a problem with Kirk. And it's not a problem. It's not like I dislike the performance or the actor or anything like that. It's just me having to get over my own shit that's not Bill Shatner up there. You know what I mean? So again, I know it's worked with every one of the other legacy characters I've come around to throughout watching this first season of Strange New Worlds. Now, with that being said, and I mentioned this before, I had, way before I started doing reaction channels, I had somebody, and this meant nothing to me at the time, I had somebody say that the season finale of Strange New Worlds, which would have been season 1 at the time, was a remake of an original series episode. Now, of course, I have no clue. I no context for any of this. And they may even have said balance of terror when they were talking about it. But again, I think that's my Swiss cheese brains remembering certain. Of course, it picks. I joked about it before. I think the Patreon that my Swiss cheese brain picks this part to remember. You know, there was something like this. But again, I don't think it would have been too long before I figured that out. You know, the wedding in and of itself is a very noteworthy moment. And as soon as they said they were 7 years into the future and all these things started playing out, I mean, the Romulan involvement, but I mean, it was the beginning of Balance of Terror, essentially. So, but taking that in a different direction and showing that it at the bottom core line of everything, that time, the universe, fate, destiny, whatever you want to call it, has a price to pay. And for Chris and for the future, the price is Chris. The price is you've got to do this. You have got to go in there. You've got to die with Ma'at and the other cadet that dies, or you don't die, but I mean, essentially, you know, you get horrific shit done to you. The 2 cadets die. You save the other cadets. I'm sure there's some significance, you know, not just, I mean, you're saving lives, but there could very well be some significance to what those cadets end up doing. But obviously the main problem here is the scale that needs to be balanced. If you take yourself off that scale, they need to balance it somehow, and it seems that Spock is the person that destiny, fate, the universe decreed would be your weighted replacement in the scale, and we can't have that. Now, this is the crazy thing. I have piecemeal knowledge of so many different things that for Star Trek that it takes me, I like reverse engineer certain things, and that's by no means like, wow, I can reverse engineer. No. This is me trying to use my Swiss cheese brain and my very illogical approach to watching Star Trek to kind of glean what they mean by things that are absolutely overt to everybody else, that you all that have watched more Star Trek than I have. But whenever they talk about, you know, Spock's going to do great things in the future, a lot of what I know that Spock does comes from like the J.J. Abrams movies, you know, because the Spock that I know is on the original series, but I do know that Spock becomes an ambassador to Romulus, I believe. And again, I know that because of the Kelvin movies with Leonard Nimoy's Spock like playing a pivotal role in all of this. So again, at any point, correct me because I know I'm wrong about some of this stuff. But you know, so obviously there's the peace process between the Romulans and the Federation must be tenuous forever, you know? And I can only assume that because the Romulans are my favorite bad guys, because I love to hate them, you know? I know a little bit about them from Enterprise, the show, and then everything else comes from either like Picard season 3 or Discovery, and I don't know where I'm grabbing these things from, but that's where they come from. My Romulan background got me into trouble when I was talking about the Enterprise incident from season 3, episode 2, I believe, of season 3 of the original series. I was applying things that had not yet been uncovered or developed or, you know, stated about the Romulans, because in that second episode of season 3, they'd only appeared in one other one, in Balance of Terror, and of course none of this stuff had been established. So I was saying, oh, isn't it like the sub-commanders can betray and take over? I didn't know any of that. They at that time, at that episode, they didn't have any of that down. So I'm getting myself into trouble by kind of relating these certain things. So know that I'm going to eventually piece it together. This is me kind of spitballing right now. So I just think it's very interesting that, you know, Spock goes on to do all of these great things. Spock is peace. You know, Spock keeps this peace. And, you know, if Jim's not in the chair to keep that balance of power established, you know, I think the titles are very interesting too. Balance of Power worked. Equality of Mercy did not. And that is very telling. And it's really, in many ways, it's the perfect, for me and my understanding and knowledge to this point, it's the perfect definition between Christopher Pike and James T. Kirk. James T. Kirk will maintain a balance of power. Christopher Pike will offer a quality of mercy. Sometimes Pike's way works, sometimes Kirk's way works. But in this instance, Jim had to be in the chair. Jim had to have that moment. In my mind, whenever I think of Jim, I think of the end of Balance of Power. It's in my hand to God. When I think of James T. Kirk, I think of him talking to the near widow who was going to get married and they never got a chance to, and her husband, fiance, dies, and she's kind of like at his side. He talks to her, he comforts her, he gives her what he needs to do, what he needs to say to her to get her, not even help her through the moment. He has a responsibility. One, it was to marry them, and now it's not. Now it's to his crew person to make sure that she's okay. And then he gets up and he walks out. And as he walks out of that room where he was talking to her, the camera follows him down the hallway and he's striding, and you can see that it's just on to the next of the captain. And to me, for my money, that is the moment that completely defines James T. Kirk. He is always in the moment. He's always the captain. He is always the captain. And I think in many ways that's the difference. I think that there are times when Pike knows he's the captain, but wants to kind of take that hat off and put it aside so he can cook dinner for the crew. He can be seen more as a confidant or a co-worker or a friend or something like that. And I'm not saying that he doesn't view the captaincy as with the same level of respect or honor. That's not it. He sees like his relation to the crew and how he approaches it far differently than Jim does. Neither way is correct. They're just different. And in this moment, at this moment of mania in history's sake, James T. Kirk has to be the captain of the Enterprise because it's his time, his moment, his decisions that keep the balance of power, and not a quality of mercy that Christopher Pike would employ. Friends, if you could do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, and you'll be alerted next time we go live with Star Trek Strange New Worlds, the original series, or any of our sci-fi fare. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. Well, my friends, all that is then and this is now, though, and now it's time to say goodbye. So, as is customary here with the episode we just watched, since we are all involved, we're all crew members of the Enterprise, we get to say goodbye from somewhere in this episode. So where should we say goodbye from? Well, friends, we could say goodbye from the distant, non-dark timeline future. We could say goodbye from the present, with Pike in the chair. And I don't say we say goodbye from any distinguishable moment. We don't know. We don't know where we are. We've been transported. All we can see, friends, as we somehow float in space, we see the Enterprise drift by silently. That beauty. Does it matter at that moment who's in the chair? Not to us. She's still a beauty, that Enterprise. She's still doing her mission. But now we have to remember that at certain points, at certain times, in certain moments, it really does matter who sits in the chair. Friends, until we begin season 2, Vulcan roll, and I'll see you.